Right, so the BSA has been getting a bit difficult to start and not running very cleanly. So I'm just going through it and checking everything. I'll check the tappets in due course. I'll put a new spark plug in. I was going to check the timing as part of the refresh, as it were, and check out. Okay, I think I've worked out the marks for the timing again. On the rotor, on this rotor, there are two lines. There's a line there, just stamped 2, and there's one up here as well, virtually the same, which is stamped number 1. Number 2 is what you use on the B50. Apparently the number 1 I think is for the B25. Similarly, there are these 4 screws for the hold the cover on, but there's this point here, which is a timing mark for the B25, and this one here, which has got a pointed pin in it, is for the B50. So I guess they fit the pin there for the B50 covers, and obviously here for the B25. And so if you fitted a B25 cover to a B50 engine, that would be something you'd have to account for. Anyway, so that pin, say, is there, and it has got a point on the end which you can see through this side from this side. And if I put the engine, it's in gear at the minute, so I'll just use the back wheel to rotate the engine. It rotates anti-clockwise when the engine's running, and top dead center, poking something down the spark plug hole, turns out that that number 2 line pretty much lines up with the center of this screw hole. And so the timing should be back here, 34 degrees in advance of top dead center, which does indeed line up with this pin. Just as a sanity check, this angle gauge, I set this to 34 degrees, which is there near enough. Just get that angle onto the center of the crankshaft, and this hole, sure enough, it does line up if you look carefully. So that point is indeed 34 degrees ahead of this center line. So that's all good. So I get the engine fired up. I should be getting the strobe lining up with this this pin, the point on the other side, and that would indeed be 34 degrees. Advice on the internet seems to be that for the big bore kit and the J&E piston that I've got, apparently people tend to run with slightly less than 34 degrees advance. So I'll see how it goes when it's running. I probably want to set it somewhere down here rather than bang in the center of this pin, and also make sure the engine's running 3,000 or 4,000 RPM, so it's definitely at the full advance position. I've got the Boyer fitted, so it's probably not strictly 3,000 RPM as the workshop manual says. I'll see how the engine, the spark advances as I increase the revs, make sure that it's sort of maxed out at whatever speed the Boyer advance is tuned to. Right, so I've got this AccuSpark SP8000 set up, so that should be good. This has a adjustable advance setting, which I've set to 0, so that corresponds to just flashing when the spark plug fires. Well, that was absolutely bang on. It's very stable as well, it doesn't jitter about at all. So obviously the Boyer ignition is doing its job well, but I say it's bang on the mark, so I guess I could advance it slightly, retard it slightly, based on advice on the internet, saying that with the big bore kit it should be retarded about a degree or two. But on the other hand, so it is bang on at the moment, and at least I know that, so if I decide to adjust it, I can always tweak it slightly. Anyway, so next thing I guess is to check the tappets, and then the carburation But so far so good. So I'm pretty happy that the timing's correct, but just as a final check, I've managed to get hold of one of these timing pegs that locks the crankshaft into the correct position for full advance to set the points, the old mechanical points. But just need to take this plug out, stick this in, and then locate the crankshaft, and it should make the this rotor line up with the peg that I was used for timing it anyway. So just to confirm that that alignment does match up with the setting that this peg would give. So I'll take this plug out and we'll see. So this is a 1-inch socket. So if I bring this rotor around to the two lining up with a peg, this other, whoops, about there indeed. This thing should fit in, I guess. Which of course it's not doing. So that's slightly worrying. There's something there. I think this thing might just be too blunt. Thinking it. I suspect I can feel something. I suspect that's too blunt to fit into the slot. Let's try a screwdriver down there. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so that's definitely located. So it does look as if this point is too blunt, as I say. That's disappointing. This is actually stainless steel as well. Anyway, using this screwdriver, I mean that's positively locked. Yeah, sure enough, with that located there, this is in the right place. So the notch on the crank does indeed line up with the timing mark on the rotor that I was using with the strobe. So that's all good. So I'm pretty confident it was the case anyway, but good just to confirm that. So I'll grind this down, I think, and just make it more pointed so that it will indeed engage in that notch in the crank. Yeah, looking down here with an endoscope, if you can see that. Yeah, in the crank it's a hole which is obviously smaller than the tip of that peg. Let's try that again. Okay, I think the issue is that the hole in the crank is actually offset from the centre of the tapped hole in the crankcase. It's not bang on the centre, so this pin isn't going straight into the hole, it's trying to go in slightly off to the side. So that's why it locates fine there, pretty much. But when it's inside the sleeve, the nut, it doesn't line up. It's just say off to one side slightly. So yeah, So I guess making that slightly smaller would help. Making the cone slightly pointier, and it would pick up the right angle. But this is actually designed for a Triumph, I think. But anyway, I suppose the other option is that the crank is in the wrong place. It's obviously the end flies on the crank. So I wonder if I could move it. Whether there's any noticeable end float. Anyway, the important thing is that the timing is correct. So I'm happy with that. It is to factory spec at least, as it stands right now. Good.